Now that's a bass, huh? That's a slab crappie, man. Just doesn't get any better. The smallmouth here in Champlain is phenomenal. Hey guys, welcome to another weekend roundup. How you guys doing on this great Labor Day weekend? I'm George, your Pocono Outdoors guy, and look who's joining me again this week. It's good old Josh Taylor back from Texas.
That's right. How's it going, George?
Oh, it's going great, man. How about you?
Fantastic. Good to be back. The weather's so much nicer.
I was going to say,
outside.
You're not dealing with that 100 and some degree heat they're having down there.
Not at all. Unless hurricanes, too.
Yeah, that's well, thankfully, a lot of the folks that we know down there are safe.
That's good. Yeah, definitely.
So, but our hearts go out to those folks that were hit pretty hard from that. So I hope everybody makes out okay and, deals with what they got to do. But yeah, it's good to have you back.
That passed within 50 miles of me, and we got fortunate, but a lot of other people didn't.
Yeah, that was a mess. Hopefully we don't have too many more of them this year. But yeah, you just got back yesterday? So looking forward to get out and doing a little striper fishing.
That's absolutely right.
A little walleye, little bit of everything. It's just that time of year, We got a great show lined up. We're going to talk about some sonars today, and we're going to kind of go through some of the sonars we've used. And I hope you guys jump in, give some comments on, what you guys have, used and what you find best, some of the features. Before we jump in, I want to thank a few folks like we always do. I got to thank Marketing for Guides, Ted Johnson, he's a great marketer for all you guides and lodge owners. If you got open rooms or you got, your boat sitting there not getting filled, give Tim a call. He can really help you out with some website development, SEO, and just great marketing for the outdoorsman. He's doing work all over the world with some great success. So yeah, check out Ted at marketingforguides.com. He'll really help you out. Tony Majah products, that season's coming. We keep talking about it every week. You got to get those big old mojos, those big number 4 spoons for that fall bite coming down. So check them out. Log on to TonyMajahProducts.com. And the Fisherman Magazine. Again, Jim Hutchinson gives you that latest on what's happening all up and down the New Jersey coast and some of Delaware. The September issue is out now, so go check that out. And you might even catch me giving you a little update on what's happening here in the Poconos as well. So check it out, thefisherman.com, and get yourself a subscription. So what I'd like to do today, we're going to talk about the sonars. And I don't know about you guys, we've gone through quite a few of them. I know I've had a few I don't even have anymore.
Yeah.
So, for my old boats. But one of the things, I've always been like a Humminbird guy, but one of the things that Josh turned me on to a couple of years ago, and we ended up actually being pro staff for the company, was Deeper, the Deeper sonar. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen this. This is a neat little device. Let me check it out here. It's actually the size of a little not even a baseball. It's smaller than a baseball.
A large bobber.
A large bobber. But yeah, this thing is great. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Let me show you something here real quick. Here's a screenshot of the sonar itself. So as you can see, it's got the live scan. It'll show you vegetation. It'll show you bottom. It'll even mark fish for you. And I normally don't like using a fish ID. I don't know if you do or not. But,
no, I tend not to.
But on the Deeper, I think when you get into that heavy vegetation and stuff, I think it really helps, distinguish between the fish and which just could be a bunch of weeds.
Right.
And I think you've done a couple of videos already where you were looking at the same thing. You were in a bunch of vegetation and all of a sudden, it did mark fish and we were able to see the fish.
That's right, yep.
And actually get them. So I think that's a really cool little idea. And geez, I think we use this probably, I use it in my kayak a lot.
Right, yeah.
And they have those really fancy arms, and I think they're really good. But I just tether mine.
Right.
I just leave them there. I paddle out somewhere, and it just sits there and floats by me, and I get good readings. I think that's the way to use it. I do too. I didn't think that we needed really needed to go ahead with all the fancy, arms, because I found depending on where you mount it and where your access points are, it kind of gets in the way sometimes, unless you got one of those fancy pedal ones. So I know you've used the Deeper probably just as much, if not more, than I have. What do you think?
You know what? It was my number one and only ice fishing unit for many, many years. And I loved it for that. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it as an ice fishing unit. And actually has some advantages that traditional sonars don't, because there's no transducer down in the hole to get tangled around. So.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely a plus. And I think that's probably every time we go on ice fishing, I think we've both brought ours.
I really like, and even today when I've got more sonar, that's still coming with me because it's the perfect backup. Yeah, and you keep it in your pocket. It's not like it takes up a lot of room. It's kind of cool. And one of the things, just a little hack, guys, and I know you can do this with some of the real expensive units, but we found, when you're going out looking for a spot, you can actually, and it only works if you got clear ice. You pour a little water on top, put this on top of the ice,
and you can get a depth reading and even see the bottom before you even drill a hole. So you know right where you're at before you waste all that energy.
Yeah, right.
You know, try to drill a hole. So take this with you, drop it on top. If that looks like it's where you want to go, you're working a drop off, go ahead and drill your hole, because that's a really successful little unit. Deeper's good. I wish, I miss working with those guys. They were a great bunch of folks.
Definitely.
So that was one of our first ones, I think. We've been using those kind of I won't say a low end unit. They're what, $250? I think
for the best one.
No, the best one was $299 for the Chirp.
Wow, they got that up there.
They got, but I think that the Chirp is really good. If you see the Chirp, I think it's got 1/2-inch target separation. Yeah, so for a little tiny,
it's a real sonar.
It is, and we did that video with Deeper a couple years ago with my Helix 10.
That's right.
And I know that was one of their more popular ones on their channel. But yeah, it kept up with a real Chirp sonar. It was really cool. So, what do you got? What was one of your other ones?
Well, the very first unit I had was this little Garmin, and this actually came with my boat, my 16-foot aluminum, and it is Chirp, I believe, but it was the very first rendition of Chirp, and it's not very good, to be honest with you. This was, a standard unit, good for getting started. It has GPS, and it can, standard sonar. That's about it.
Yeah, but I think that was when Chirp was just coming out.
It was,
or even Garmin alone was just first coming out.
They certainly weren't where they are today.
No, absolutely not. But still, I mean, if you got a boat and you're just getting started, you don't have a lot of money, probably $100, you can put a unit like this on your boat if you have to.
You know what? This is probably going to end up now mounted to my snowmobile, just to have GPS when I'm flying around the lakes. There you go. Winter. Yep,
it doesn't hurt, right?
Not at all.
Really cool. But I'd say it's a progression. As you get more into the sport and you learn new things and you need better equipment, you kind of go up the ladder a little bit. One of the other ones that I had. And I fished this one for a couple of years. This is my Humminbird 958. Now this one was a down imaging one, and I'll tell you, I was all hyped up because when they first started talking about down imaging and all that, I never used that. Well, the kind of fishing I do. I do a lot of trolling, and to be honest, it was useless for trolling.
Right. Yeah.
If we were jigging structure and stuff like that, I think that would be a different story. But I just ended up, you pay the extra money for it.
Yeah.
And then I just never used it.
I don't think it's something that everyone needs. You have to actively be using it for structure a lot.
Yeah. You got to be like the bass guys and stuff like that. Or if you're smallmouth guys, you're coming off a little bit deeper water, some structure. It's ideal. But yeah, I didn't see much use. Great GPS in it. It's got an external. This one has an external puck for it. But yeah, the other stuff is good. I mean, as far as, showing you the boomerang and everything else, it was okay. This is a 9-inch screen, which is, it's plenty good for me, what I needed.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. And there's no side imaging on this one, right?
No, this was just strictly down imaging in your standard. It was okay. And I bought into the hype with the down, and I'm kind of sorry I did, but this is going to go in the fishing pontoon next. I'm going to get this all rigged up. So we have the other boat to go hit some stripers with. So this was good. I enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys like Humminbird, but I've always been a Humminbird kind of guy. I don't know why. I think it's because the first boat I bought, it had a Humminbird on it, and I just fell in love with them.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I remember the old ones. They looked like a game of Tetris. It was like a big fish was like 4 or 5 blocks. The little one was 2 blocks. It was just completely different, but that was fun back then. So what else do you got? What was next?
Next, I have, this is the first sonar I actually bought. Well, the other one came with my boat. This is a Lowrance Hook 4, and this was proper Chirp sonar. The other one was when it really just came out. This one is properly good. We dropped some skittles down to 200 feet.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, and we could mark the skittle 200 feet all the way down.
Yeah.
Pretty remarkable. And this served me well for a long time.
It did. I mean, you had your little 12-foot boat for a while.
Yeah, I had it on my aluminum 12-foot that I would drag through and get into all sorts of crazy places. And yeah, this was a good unit for me for a long time.
Yeah. We did that in Beltsville. I think we got to only about 130 some feet in Beltsville, but dropped the skittle test with it. And if you can see that all the way down the bottom, you're doing something with the skittle.
Definitely.
That's really cool. Hey, Jay Batcha, thank you for joining us, Jay. Jay won the prize last week with a couple of those good ghost drags. So he's going to get out and do some damage on the lake with them. Also, Guy Swope. Hey, Guy, how you doing?
How's it going?
And Ryan, I'm sure, is watching as well. A couple of great fishermen there. So my big one now that I use, let me see if I can get my bigger hummingbird out here. I've moved up now on my big boat, my Sea Hunt, to the Helix 10. Now this one, I wish I would have went the extra mile on this. This is just your standard unit. There's no down imaging, no side imaging, anything. Absolutely fantastic sonar. It's chirp, great target separation. Gives you that, I mean, beautiful, you know, those boomerangs that you're looking for when you're marking fish. It's a fantastic little system. The one thing I really wish I did, I wish I would have gone with the side imaging.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed with the down imaging. I just did not go the extra mile.
Discouraged you.
Well, you know, earlier this year, I was out with John Augustine and Greg. We were doing some striper fishing, and they have a Helix 10 on their boat with the side imaging. And I'm sitting there watching, looking what they can see, what they can scope. I'm just thinking, oh my God, I wish I would have spent a few extra dollars and gone for it, because it gives you so much more. I couldn't believe it.
It's that's technology that I haven't really gotten into, and I know for a fact I need to be.
It's absolutely crazy. I mean, what you can see, and especially when you're trolling game, you got to see what's. Are you on the right line? I mean, there could be fish there where you're just 50 feet off of them.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's a lot of things that we need to do,
especially when you're looking for fish in open water, like we do a lot.
Yeah. What's Jay say? He likes the down imaging and has better separation of fish. It does, Jay. It really does. One of the things. Again, you're talking weeds and structure. That's where the down imaging, I think, has its strength.
We just don't do a lot of that.
We don't do that. Yeah. So the kind of fishing Josh and I do, that didn't fit. And like I said, I bought it my other hummingbird, and I got so disappointed. I should have made the investment. If you guys, at least in my opinion, if you can afford to go with a big side imaging unit, please do it. You won't be disappointed.
Agreed.
So yeah, this was a great little unit. I loved it.
And you can get side imaging units pretty cheap now, if you go, especially if you go pre-owned.
Yeah. Well, you know, they get up to the what is it, the next one, the Solix.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big unit.
It's a big unit, and they got some just great technology in there, and that's why I like Hummingbird. You know, I think they're kind of leaders. So I've always loved their stuff. Great sonars, and again, if you can afford it, go with the extra features, because I think it'll really pay off for you guys. Now, I was feeling good with that, Josh, until I heard what you just bought, and I think I think Josh is going to put us all to shame. Let's see what Josh has just bought. Matter of fact, he just unboxed it here.
I did.
So.
And it's just the head unit, because I didn't want to bring everything else over.
Why don't you tell us what you got here, bud?
This is the Garmin 1022 GPS head unit for the new Panoptix Live Scope. The forward, the down, the perspective view, it does all of it.
How many people you're here? Because if no one knows you're here, you may not end up getting.
You're the first, George. So let that be on the record.
That is funny. No, but
still haven't had a chance to use it yet. Like you said, just unboxed it here for you. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's not a decision I made easily. I thought about it for a long time. And
they're kind of pricey. You're going to spend a few $1,000s for it. But I think, like we were just talking about, what the technology gives you. Why don't you talk a little about what the Live Scope is for people that may not be familiar with that?
So I hope I don't butcher this too much, but most sonar on the right side of your screen is what's happening in real time. And then everything that scrolls back is historical data.
Right.
On the Live Scope screen, everything you see at any point on that screen is happening live in real time.
Right.
So you won't even look at it the same way you would perceive information from a traditional sonar. Everything's happening in real time, and because it's Panoptix, you can direct it around. So you can actually, and it goes out to 200 feet. You can cast a lure at a school of fish that you can see 80 feet out, and see those fish interact with your lure as they chase it. And in the down, it can do all sorts of crazy things. In the down view, if you have a good image, if they're directly in the sonar beam, you can see the fins, them reacting to different ways. And
I've seen demos on this thing where there was a muskie swimming around bait, and you could actually see that it was a muskie.
And the fins and the way, all of it.
It's absolutely incredible. Now, the kind of things that we would use this for, and I know we're before the show, we're both sitting there thinking, how are we going to use this and how quick? Because Josh has got a few more parts coming before he can mount this up on his boat. But we do a lot of striper fishing, trolling, and you said we can point it right back towards the baits and actually see if there are any striper coming up on it.
Come up to it and
look
at
holy
it.
Cow!
Yeah,
And talk about going to side imaging. Look at this thing side to side.
Right.
Again, where are those fish at? Are you spotting bait? Are you seeing fish working them?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're trolling the right line. And again, we started talking. You said ice fishing. You can mount this. Holy cow! Tell them what we were just talking about on that.
In the forward mode, there's 3 ways you can rig the transducer. There's down, forward, and perspective mode, which tilts the transducer on its side. And with the forward view, when you're ice fishing, you can drill 1 hole, put it down, and as you pan it around, you can see up to 200 feet in every direction that you scan it. So it makes looking for fish.
I'm stunned. I just cannot wait to get out.
I mean, this is all in theory. I haven't done it. Maybe it'll be harder than I realized.
This is what you spend the money to do.
Yes.
And we're saying, you're paying for technology. If you got limited time on the water, you don't want to be playing around. How many holes are you going to drill? Or how many have we done that?
Oh, goodness.
I think you've wore the battery out in your auger, just try to find places to fish.
Well, before this, I would drill over 100 holes to try and find the right spot. And, hopefully I won't be doing that as much.
Yeah. And it makes your day more productive. You know where the fish are. You can, get on them, have some fun, get a few fish, and make your day that way. You're not spending all day drilling holes and stuff like that.
Well, I think one of the, in my mind, why I committed to it too, is even outside the realm of fishing, just sitting out on my boat and watching, because I want to be able to watch those schools of fish down in, 50 feet of water. I want to see those predators come up underneath the school and how they hit those schools. And you can just learn so much just by watching that screen, not even necessarily fishing, although I'm sure I'll be doing that too.
Yeah. But it's almost like a camera. If you ever seen the output of these things, it's imagine if you put it looks like down imaging, but if you put a camera down there and see the fish swimming around, bait fish around a piece of structure, and then the predatory fish just coming in and just inhaling some things.
It's really cool.
It's so cool. So I'm really anxious to get out in the boat and check this out with you.
Now, I don't want to misquote too much, but I think this head unit can screen record.
Okay.
So maybe we can get out there and film some stuff and
that'd be awesome.
Show it. That'd be cool.
Well, a couple other technology. I know you bought your AquaView last year.
Yeah, got the underwater camera too. We can do all sorts of stuff.
And I finally got my inline camera too. My little Fish Go Fish Cam.
That's right.
So we can do some filming underwater.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, what do you think, guys? I mean, what do you guys use for sonar? It sounds like a guy uses a Helix 9 as well. Yeah, another Humminbird guy. I love that stuff. And Jay even says it better be good for ice fishing too. So
yeah,
I think you're right there.
I look forward to using it.
Yeah, I can't wait. There's just, it opens up so many more possibilities with things you can fish and make it more productive again. Say we can maybe they say it's portable, so we can mount that on my pontoon.
Yep, we can get a mount that'll we can take it anywhere we want to use it, even off a dock.
I'm thinking drifting around for walleyes.
We can do that. Yeah,
that might be a good thing to do.
We'll flip it over into perspective mode, and we can see entire flats.
That might work. I think that worked out really well. So, what are your guys' comments? Anybody? What do you guys use? What's your favorite technique with that? How about for ice fishing? What do you guys use? Do you guys ever use a deeper or anything like that? Looks like we got a small crowd this week. No, it's a holiday week. Everybody's out having barbecue.
Everyone's
and
having
beer.
a lot of fun.
That's okay.
Don't blame them.
I don't blame them either.
Temperature's been great.
Yeah, we will after the show as well. So, all righty. Well, there are no more comments. I think we're going to move on to another part of the show here, Josh. What do you think?
Sounds good.
I'm going to move into our trophy board, and I got a couple of really good things to show this week. I got a twofer to start it off. Good friend Jen Wong. Let me turn off that banner for you guys so we can see the pictures here. Jen was out doing some fishing with his buddy, and he managed to get into a whole mess of crappie.
That looks great. And
a really nice bass as well. Good. Here's Ryan Swope. He was out. He caught some nice smallies on the Delaware as well. Good job, Ryan. Ryan's been killing it every week. He's been doing really good on some of this stuff.
That's awesome.
Heidi Keebler out getting smallmouth too. We got to hit the Delaware. Look at these fish they're getting on the Delaware as far as the doing really well. Now, Jen Wong was out with his buddy here. I'm not even going to try it. Mahali was out with Jen, and they were catching a bunch of fish, and he was getting into some pike, and you could say they were pretty successful. I think they got a few of them. So
nice colors on that.
I know, beautiful fish. We got to get out and do some of them. Good friend Justin Lerner over there in Jersey. I think he was probably fishing Round Valley, but pulling some of those beautiful lake trout out. Just before the show, Justin sent me a message that he was out doing some inshore fishing, getting on some king mackerel and some albies. That's something I really want to do.
Cool.
We got another 2 for this week. Eric Gusztaw was out, got into a nice 16-inch wild brown trout the other day, just hitting these little creeks. And he was also out hitting those crappies again.
That's a big one.
It's a big one. He's got this one little pond. I think they're all stacked up in. We're going to have to get out there and fish with them a little bit. So that's going to wrap up the trophy board for this week. Lots of great fish, guys. Thank you so much for sending in those pics. Always love to see what you guys are catching. Charlie Ronner, use a deeper for shore fishing. Yeah, we use it too. We did a couple of videos. We did that one with Mike D in Lunkerville, the TV show Lunkerville. We took him out there. We got Mike D into a couple of nice fish. Got him into that striper.
That was really cool.
Yeah, that was a great little show. And Jace's Vexlar is his fave. That's for the ice fishing.
Can't go wrong with that. No.
It's an all-time fave there. So awesome. So that's going to bring us up to our trivia giveaway for the week. And this week we're going to give away a free gift certificate for a 1-year subscription to the Fisherman magazine. That's 38 issues. Great little subscription, $29.95. You're going to get it for free. And all we got to do is be the first person to answer this question. Now, we made it easy for you this week because everybody was kind of having trouble with them. So what fish do you get when you cross a muskie and a northern pike? Is it a striped pike, a tiger muskie, or a northern muskie? What are you going to get if you cross those two? And this does happen naturally. It's not something you just mix up and it happens. But this does happen naturally. First person gets this free 1-year subscription. Who's going to give you the first correct answer? Come on. Is it striped pike, tiger muskie, or a northern muskie? Jay Batcha says tiger muskie. Jay, you won 2 weeks in a row. That's incredible. But yeah, I'll get all of you after the show, Jay. We'll get this figured out, and I'll get you a free subscription.
Nice job, Jay.
Yeah, congratulations, buddy. And then Ryan got it right after. Ryan, you got to be a little quicker on that keyboard. I think that's the second week in a row that you come in right behind it. But yeah, you get a tiger muskie. I think you've caught 1 or 2 of these before, Josh.
A couple.
Yeah. So that's kind of going to wrap up that part of it. What are we going to do now for in the season's coming in? Labor Day, that's the end of the summer. This is when our season starts, as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to have to get together and figure out what we can do now that you're back from Texas.
Yep. See
if we can get out, get the boats in the water. And,
that's right. Got some technology to play with, and we'll have a good time.
We'll hopefully bring some cameras, and we'll take some videos for you guys so you can come along and do a little fishing with us. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this week. Again, got to thank marketingforguides.com. Ted Johnson is going to help you guys out. Just give him a call. Marketingforguides.com. Tony Maja Products, thefisherman.com. As always, great folks. Support them, folks that support us. And you can always email me those pictures if you have questions or suggestions. We'd love to hear from you. PoconoGeorge@outlook.com. And again, please check out my new website, PoconoOutdoorsGuy.com. We got lots of stuff going on. We got a discussion board. We got your pictures, all kinds of stuff. Come in, have some fun. And that's going to wrap things up for this week, Josh. What do you think?
Sounds good, George. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's stop talking and go out and do a little fishing. What do you think? Guys, we're going to wrap things up. You have a great week. We'll talk to you next week, and have a great week.